Thank you very much for this opportunity. President of CREDAI, Jagsai Shah, Chairman Sri Gitambar Anandji Magar, CREDAI Youth Wing Chairman. This man has a very powerful surname, Rohit Raj Modi. Kya lagta hai yaar Modi sahab ka? And to all the CREDAI Telangana office bearers and to the CREDAI Youth Wing Organizing Committee, the distinguished gathering which includes a former Chief Minister, Sri Omar Abdullaji. Sir, coming in to speak after you is like coming into bat after Virat Kohli, right? So, मुश्किल है, कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि आपका तो मैं जब से आपने एक पार्लियामेंट में एक तकरीर आपने दिया, शायद 7-8 साल पहले, बहुत ही इमोशनल, बहुत ही जज्बाती एक तकरीर था आपका, जिसको मैं टीवी पे देखा था, मैं तब शायद पॉलिटिक्स में I was absolutely a greenhorn. I would still like to believe I'm a rookie, but been a huge fan. So it's an honor that you're sitting in the audience listening to me. Thank you very much, Omar. When I was walking in fact, when I got the invite from Anshuman and also Jagsai and the entire team of CREDAI YouthCon about 2 weeks ago, I said, what is this conference about? They said it's a youth con. You know, you'll have a lot of youngsters, and you also have Sachin Pilot, Omar Abdullaji, you have Dalai Lama, you have an eclectic gathering coming in. So firstly, I said yes because of the intrigue factor. I said this is great, just to get to meet you and be in the same room as you and listen to you. I said yes. But then फिर मैंने बोला कि मैं बात क्या करूँ? मतलब आप लोग डेवलपर हो, मैं एक अर्बन डेवलपमेंट का मंत्री हूँ, मैं ज़्यादातर आपको रूल्स के बारे में बोलूँगा कि आप रूल ना तोड़ो, सेटबैक ठीक से लगाओ और सब कुछ ठीक ठाक करो, मैं यही उपदेश दूंगा, क्या करूँगा उससे ज़्यादा? बोले नहीं पूरा मतलब यूथ है, आप जो बोलना चाहेंगे बोलिए, और especially all of these youth and youngsters are second gen and third gen. So I said, great, that is a good opportunity for me to interact. So I walked in. When I walked in, all the guys that welcomed me, including our local chapter president, Mr. Ram Reddy, because I was told everybody here would be less than 40. पर यहाँ पे आया देखते हैं कि ज़्यादा लोग 40 के ऊपर हैं. तो मैंने पूछा यार ये आप लोग क्या कर रहे हो यहाँ पे? तो किसी ने कहा, जक्षय ने या किसी ने कहा कि किसी ना किसी को तो बिल देना पड़ेगा यार, चेक तो लिखना पड़ेगा, तो we are all here. So I'm glad to be a part of this wonderful event, and I'm glad that this is happening in Hyderabad. The reason why I say this is because I was told by Jagshay and also Rohit Raj that for the first time, YouthCon is happening at such a, on such a large scale. In fact, I was told it was, when it happened the last time, it had about 170 odd people, out of which again 150 people were over 40. So this time I'm delighted that there are far more young people, a great deal of participation from across the country as well. 66 cities, number of people from across the country. So delighted that you have chosen Hyderabad. Hyderabad से जो भी चीज़ की शुरुआत होती है, अच्छा ही होता है. तो मुझे उम्मीद है कि YouthCon भी और भी मजबूत होगा और भी अच्छा होगा. क्योंकि सुनने को मिलता है young Indians, young presidents organizations. We also have YEO, the Young Entrepreneurs Organization. These are the guys you get to meet very often in business. But for the first time, developers, and that too, there are also a lot of lady developers as well, I see, young women as well. So it's a good sign that things are changing and changing for good. Now let me just give you a quick perspective of what this young state of Telangana, which I call the startup state of India. We've been around for nearly 40 months now. June 2014 is when we came into being. And in the last 40 months, we've done some things which I believe are going to be trendsetters and are going to be definitely pioneering efforts for not just the real estate industry, the construction industry, but also the country at large. Let me tell you why I think so. In fact, let me also share with you one thing. In fact, I was being told by one of my distinguished colleagues on the dais that it's a good thing and a good sign for the country to see young leaders such as Sachin Pilot, Omar Abdullaji, and myself. I'm by no definition or by no means young, sorry for all the young people out there, but still I was being told that it's a good thing that people and politicians cutting across from different parties, from entire spectrum literally, so to speak, are coming together and are talking about the industry. What I would like to believe is, in fact, while we are on the cusp as a country of breaking into the big league, the reason why I say that with a lot of confidence is because the world is aging, but India is getting younger. The world at large, if you look around, the 7 billion plus, the average age of the world is getting higher and higher in several countries, including the most advanced nations economically that is, the average age is above 40. But India, the average age today, more than 50% of the population is less than the age of 27. More than 65% of the population is less than 35. And in a knowledge economy, in an economy dominated by Facebooks, Twitters, WhatsApps, Googles and Orkuts and LinkedIn's, I don't know what else has come in today or yesterday. In an age where knowledge dominates, in an age where knowledge is supposed to be your raw material input into creating more wealth, into creating more economic opportunities, into creating more employment opportunities, I think India is really on the cusp of breaking into the big league because of the firepower that it really holds today in its armory. Now, the reason why I say this again with a lot of confidence is also because we have young leaders across the country today, in the form of Sachin, in the form of Omar, in the form of several other leaders who believe and who understand the primacy of economics over politics. Yes, politics is going to be there. Politics in a democracy is the mainstay. Politics will determine our future. Everything that happens in our daily life in a democracy, and especially if you're living in the world's largest democracy like India, politics will decide your future. And you ought to be, as young people as well, deciding what your future politics is as well. But today we have a leadership in the form of our Prime Minister, in the form of our Chief Minister in Telangana, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, who understand that economics is far more important than politics. Politics can happen every 5 years when an election comes about. Yes, we can do our own riff-raffing, tutu, meme, that can happen. But economics, creating great employment opportunities, creating more wealth so that we can distribute more wealth, balancing our welfare and development activities, that is the primary challenge of any government across the world, be it from our own state here and our Chief Minister KCR, all the way to American President Donald Trump. That is the biggest challenge. That is why you see President Trump talking about how America also has to create more manufacturing opportunities, how more development has to happen inside of America so they can create more opportunities and employment for Americans as well. So this is a challenge that is universal. And the reason why I allude to this is because your industry, the home building industry, the office space building industry, the real estate industry, the construction industry is one of the largest employers of this country and this world possibly. Let me remind you all of that. And I do know for a fact, and the reason why I mentioned again economics and the primacy of it over politics is also because I do understand, I think you understand it better than me, that home buying or office leasing is only a byproduct of industrial expansion, is only a byproduct of economic expansion that happens because of the efforts of the government, because of the efforts, the conjointed efforts of industry and government together. Now, when you understand that and when you actually are in a position to be able to dictate policy, I think that's when real change happens. Now, in the state of Telangana, in our own little gambit, we have done some things which I think are exemplary. The first thing we've done, which I must tell you, in fact, we've come out with one of the most progressive industrial policies this country and possibly this world has ever seen. We call it TS-IPAS. Let me just give you only 3 salient features of this wonderful policy. This was unveiled in 2015, on June 2nd. This policy that I have just mentioned, TS-IPAS, allows you, for example, Jakshay here has a piece of land in Hyderabad and he wants to construct a mall or an office space or an apartment complex, whatever he wants to build, or a factory. Today in the state of Telangana, unlike any other state in the country, we allow for what is called a self-certification, which means as long as the investor believes that he is or she is going to be in compliance with the law of the land, we allow you to start construction on day one without waiting for a clearance from the government. This is unheard of in India. This is unheard of in India. Because we believe when you make an investment choice, it's not just an economic investment you make. It's an emotional investment into a new region, into a city, and you would have done your due diligence. We would have to understand, we would have to believe that as a law-abiding corporation, law-abiding entity, you would want to be in consonance, in sync with the law of the land, and you would have done your homework as a professional organization. The second thing I would like to point out, only for regulatory purposes, when you start construction, when you start an industry in Telangana through self-certification, we request that you submit an application online. You do not have to meet a bureaucrat. You do not have to call on a minister. There is no graft here. कोई लेना देना वो वाला धंधा यहाँ पे नहीं है. आप जब ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन डालते हो 15 दिन में हम एश्योर करते हैं by statute. We promise clearances in 15 days by statute, by an enactment of the legislature. And if we do not deliver, because some of you might say, well, I've heard this before, a lot of mantris, a lot of secretaries tell me this, कि हम single window के जरिए देंगे, but वो single window के पीछे हमेशा multiple window होते ही हैं, किसी न किसी को जाके मिलना ही होता है, बहुत लोग ये कहेंगे. But Telangana is unique because ours is a true single window without any grills. And the reason why I say this is because if I don't deliver on the 15-day promise, on the 16th day your application is deemed to have been approved by default. You need not seek another thappa from the government. This is again unique. No other state in India will tell you this, including Gujarat, Modi Sahab, including Gujarat, and Jagsai, sorry, including Gujarat. The third thing I'll tell you, in fact, we penalize our bureaucrats. If they are held responsible for the delay, for holding up your file beyond 15 days, from the 16th day onwards, we literally impose a fine of rupees 1,000 per day till such time as they clear it. Now this is truly pioneering and path-breaking policies which have made Telangana the #1 state on the ease of doing business index across the country, which is a joint ranking given by DIPP and World Bank. In the last 2.5 years, in case for those of you who think, this sounds too good to be true, let me tell you. TSI pass in the last 2.5 years. We have given more than 6,000 clearances in less than 15 days. We have attracted more than 1,20,000 crores of investment. We have created more than 300,000 new jobs, direct jobs, and indirect would be obviously twofold that. So we've been a trailblazer, not just in policy, but also in terms of attracting investments as well. Even in the real estate space, even in the home construction business, we came out with some reforms which are truly path-breaking. We approve all of the applications from the real estate industry through a specific module called DPMS, Development Permission Management System. And we give all clearances, again in the same format that I've just explained to you, deemed approvals, penalties linked to it, which makes it very, very unique and very, very efficient. Let me also tell you one quick thing. अभी मैं हमारे चेयरमैन साहब से कह रहा था, गीतांबर जी से, I was just inquiring, trying to find out इस audience में कितने लोग first generation entrepreneur रहेंगे YouthCon में. Are there any first gen entrepreneurs in YouthCon here? I see some, which is good, about 10, 15, 20 out of. Excellent. Well, let me tell you something. I'm also son of a father, an illustrious father. Somebody who's fought and is a first gen politician and who's had to fight very, very hard. I'm sure like many of your fathers and mothers. Because I'm presuming from the show of hands that majority of you are either second gen or third generation entrepreneurs, third generation developers rather. Let me tell you only two things. One, किसी का बेटा होना या किसी का बेटी होना कुछ हद तक आपको मदद करेगा, आपको एंट्री पास के तौर पे मदद करेगा. हाँ, किसी के बेटे हैं तो लोग बुलाएंगे, बात करेंगे, उनके जैसे अभी उमर साहब ने कहा, उनके दुश्मन भी आपको मिलेंगे, उनके दोस्त भी आपको मिलेंगे ज़रूर, बट कुछ हद तक मदद होगी. But the only problem I see, in fact, in a lot of second gen and third gen entrepreneurs and third gen and second gen developers is, and don't get me wrong for saying this, and that also includes second gen and third gen politicians as well, like myself. The fire that you see typically in a first gen entrepreneur, the fire in the belly that you see in a first gen politician is typically lacking in a second generation or a third generation, typically. That is because we tend to take things for granted. Because हम जिस घर में या जिस माहौल में हम लोग बढ़ते हैं, पलते हैं, we take a lot of things for granted. We take the fame for granted. We take fortune for granted. हमें लगता है कि हमारे साथ रहेगा ही रहेगा, कहाँ जाएगा? But please, my request to you is, do not take it for granted. Because all of these things can disappear in no time. You need to sustain that fire in the belly to actually leave your own mark and also ensure that you leave your legacy, which obviously you've inherited. My request to you is, हाँ, काम तो करना है. किसी के छवि, like I said, following in your father's footsteps is not easy. Filling in big shoes is not easy for sure. But nevertheless, I think while we continue to grow, while we continue to not let down our parents and in fact make them proud, it is also important to remember that we also have to assert ourselves, leave our own identity. The reason why I say this is because India today offers amazing opportunities for developers. We are exactly where China was about 20-25 years ago. अभी मैं बात कर रहा था थोड़ी देर पहले आपके नेशनल एग्जीक्यूटिव से, आपके लीडरशिप टीम के साथ. किसी ने कहा कि थोड़ी मायूसी है इंडस्ट्री में, क्योंकि आजकल कई जगह पुणे में या कहीं और, हैदराबाद तो बहुत अच्छा है वैसे, हैदराबाद का मार्केट भी बहुत अच्छा है, यू कैन चेक इट फॉर योरसेल्फ. I don't know about other cities, but I can tell you for sure, Hyderabad is doing really well. And Anshuman can vouch because last year, our office space absorption in terms of percentage increase has been the highest in the country and possibly one of the highest in Asia also. In fact, our growth, our real estate expansion has been quite high. The reason why I say, while there could be a short-term blip, a little bit of a letdown here and there, I think India today offers amazing, amazing promise. India is exactly where China was 20-25 years ago. For those of you who've been to China, those of you who've been to the new economies and fast-growing economies, you would understand what I'm saying. They are building cities in no time. They're building townships in less than 5 years. Now, India needs infusion of capital. India needs good firepower in the form of young developers who can come in, who can literally take the bull by the horns and create new cities, greenfield cities, brownfield opportunities, correct whatever deficiencies, anomalies there are in the existing system, and move ahead with a lot of vigor, with a lot of enthusiasm as well. Governments are here to bring in reforms, to be your partner, to ensure that there is no graft in the way you work with the system. Yes, there are going to be challenges. Kabhi ka ek baar industry ka downtrend hoga, downturn hoga, and you'll have to put up with a lot of mediocrity, trust me. When you come into this system, this walk of life, you will be interacting with a lot of people who you would rather not interact with. But unfortunately or fortunately, that's the order of the day. That's the nature of the business. It's a territorial thing. You'll have to deal with mediocrity. Because once you start building, once you start moving ahead in the form of the new age developers that you're all looking to be, I believe that capital would not be a problem. Bringing in reforms, bringing on governments on board and making them your partners is not going to be a challenge. But the biggest challenge that you will have is sustaining that enthusiasm, sustaining that fire in the belly, and making sure while you continue your legacy, while you take forward your legacy which you have inherited, leaving your own mark. So without saying too many things, my compliments to the team of organizers. In fact, I'm a guy who believes in informality, so I'll be taking a few questions as well. But my compliments to the team of organizers, and my compliments once again to the distinguished gathering, the ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful stay in Hyderabad. Thank you.